Well, I'd like to introduce my next guest, Michael Ponterio, a founding member at Lipsitz and Ponterio, a Buffalo law firm representing people with mesothelioma caused by asbestos. Good morning. Nice to have you back.
Good morning, Linda.
Let's talk about how long your firm has been representing workers and their families exposed to asbestos.
Well, Linda, since 1985, my law partner, John Lipsitz, and I have been representing workers and their families who are exposed to asbestos and have contracted mesothelioma and lung cancer.
So since then, maybe you can tell us how your practice representing asbestos victims has changed over the years.
Sure. When we started in the mid-'80s, it was mostly people that worked with asbestos or worked in a setting where asbestos was used, like Bethlehem Steel, Durez. Then it moved on to family members who were getting sick from the workers that brought their clothes home. Mm-hmm. They would come down with disease, housewives laundering clothes, just hugging your
Sure.
father as a child. Now we see people that in college, they worked 1 or 2 summers at a plant. We have a cancer researcher from Roswell, came down with mesothelioma, only worked with asbestos for 2 summers. We even represented a former New York Supreme Court judge who worked with asbestos a couple summers at Bethlehem Steel, never worked with it again, came down with mesothelioma.
Wow. How long might it last? I mean, how long before we start to see mesothelioma in someone who may have worked with asbestos?
There's what they call a latency period, the time when you're exposed to develop disease. It can be upwards of 50 years.
Gosh.
That's how long it takes.
So, is your firm involved in any other practice area?
We are. While our focus is principally on mesothelioma and asbestos workers, and we travel around the country representing people who are exposed and then retire, say in Florida, Arizona. But we've expanded. We're representing people injured in motor vehicle accidents, by defective products, and in very select cases, sometimes people that are injured through medical malpractice.
Michael, getting back to the mesothelioma, what if someone has passed away from mesothelioma? Is their family, can they still contact you? Is there still some kind
Certainly.
of case they can bring up?
Their family member, an estate representative needs to be appointed. It's usually the spouse or a child. And then we continue on with what's called a wrongful death lawsuit. And that's a 2-year time limitation, but it's always best to contact an attorney immediately if you feel you've been exposed and are injured by asbestos.
I'll tell you though, it's the first time I've heard of that second-hand mesothelioma from someone, like I said, or like Michael was saying, you have somebody who worked in it, would come home, it's on their clothes, it's now in your house, you may have been sensitive to it and picked up on it and suffer from disease now. One
of the marvelous things about asbestos was it was indestructible. It was a fire retardant, but that same quality made it such a hazard because once it gets in your lungs, it's indestructible. Once it gets in your house, it's indestructible.
Now, I would think that people would want an experienced attorney because you've got to prove that.
Indeed, you do.
And that's why you want somebody who really has experience with this type of a case.
And we have a database over 35 years of all various work sites, whether it was Bethlehem Steel, Durez, Niagara Mohawk, DuPont, Occidental, all the plants. We have a workup of all the people that were previously exposed, what products were there, who was responsible.
It certainly wouldn't hurt, even if you think that you or someone in your family may have been exposed to this and has suffered from it, to give your office a call to find out more, truly.
Absolutely. You can call us or contact us through our website.
Anything else, Michael, you can tell us about this? Because I think we hear mesothelioma, and I think we understand now there is that connection with asbestos. Is there anything about this that people still quite aren't understanding?
I think the best thing to realize is that even if you get a cancer, it happened so long ago, you were exposed to asbestos, you may not even remember you were exposed 30, 35 years ago. We're seeing people now that you hear about it in the press about talcum powder as babies are coming down with mesothelioma. So
and that's a lung disease, correct?
It is indeed.
That's a cancer in the lung. Well, I'll tell you, what we're going to do is we're going to leave everybody with your information. Lipsitz and Ponterio, attorneys at law, this is their specialty. So please call or log on today. Let me give you their number. You can call them at 849-0701 or log on to lipsitzponterio.com.